here to honor and celebrate the life of my dad, Ronald George Ross. Dad was a one-of-a-kind man, strong, spirited, and full of life. He was tough when he had to be, but he also had one of the warmest hearts you could ever know. He had that rare gift of making people feel like they mattered, whether you knew him for 5 minutes or 50 years. He loved attention, and not so much in a selfish way, but in that magnetic light up the room kind of way. He loved to make people laugh. He lived for a good dad joke, and even the bad ones, especially the bad ones. I can still hear him delivering one with a straight face, just waiting for your reaction, and then that proud little grin he'd get when he knew he got you. That was my dad, full of charm, full of stories, and always ready to brighten your day. He was the guy who would talk to anyone, anywhere, grocery store, gas station, campground. It didn't matter. He could strike up a conversation with a total stranger and somehow walk away knowing one of their life stories and probably having shared one of his. But underneath all of the jokes and the stories was someone with incredible depth. Someone who had lived a full, complicated, and beautiful life. Someone who saw the world in his own unique way and taught me and so many others how to do the same. To me, Dad wasn't just my father. He was my best friend. We had the kind of bond that I know not everyone is lucky to have. We could talk about anything, and we did. Whether it was something important or something completely silly, Dad always made time. He was my sounding board, my safe place, and my rock. Some of my most cherished memories are the everyday moments we shared. Watching Star Trek side by side, talking over dinner, going for drives with no real destination, and just talking, just being together. And of course, our tradition every year for his birthday was going to the Topsfield Fair. We'd sit in that big chair, take a picture, and then finish the day with blueberry cobbler. That was our thing. And even though some of those photos have faded with time, the memories of those days, his smile, his laugh, the way he talked to everyone we passed, those will never fade. They're a part of me. Dad loved the water. He told me once that being under the surface, especially in winter, when the water was clear, gave him a kind of peace that he couldn't find anywhere else. He could see the plateaus and the hills beneath the water, and I think in a way that reflected how he saw life. He could see things most people couldn't, and he appreciated the quiet, the depth, and the mystery. Later in life, he found a new passion in his art. Working with wood gave him a different kind of peace. He could take a block of nothing and turn it into something beautiful, something useful, something lasting. Whether it was a sculpture, an ornament, or a handmade wooden spoon, he poured himself into his work. You can see it in every piece, the precision, the patience, and the care. That was Dad, and then there was his trike and his cars, always tinkering, always fixing, always exploring. It wasn't just about the machines, it was how things worked, how things fit together. That was how his mind worked, always turning, always building. Dad had a way of keeping things simple when life got too heavy. He'd always tell me, don't let shit get to you. Don't sweat the small shit, and never stop trying. It sounds simple, but it wasn't. That was the wisdom of someone who had lived through hard times and come out stronger. He didn't just say those things, he lived them. One of my favorite memories, one that changed both of our lives, was the day we brought home Shadow. We were on a camping trip and Dad fell in love immediately. Shadow wasn't just a pet, he was Dad's baby, his four-legged best friend. He invested everything into that dog, his love, his time, his heart. Shadow was a true companion, a part of his soul, and I'll never forget how much joy he brought to Dad's life, and how much Dad gave in return. If there's one thing I'll miss most, it's his presence, just having him there, his voice, his laugh, the way he could fill silence with something unexpected, whether it was wisdom, sarcasm, or a completely ridiculous joke. I'll I'll miss our talks. I'll miss our rides. I'll miss being able to pick up the phone and hear him say, "Hey, kiddo." I hope people remember my dad for the man he truly was. Not just the loud laugh or the strong hands, but the heart that beat underneath it all. The kindness, the loyalty, the way he showed up, even when it was hard, even when he didn't have much left to give. Dad, thank you for being exactly who you were, for loving me the way that you did, for all the lessons and all the laughter and all the memories. I will carry you with me every single day, and I promise I won't sweat the small shit, and I won't stop trying. I love you.